So this is Evoland Legendary Edition. Legendary Edition just means that it is actually Evoland 1 and 2 together. So let's go ahead and get started by just doing a new game of Evoland 1. And I'll show you what's up. So here you can only press right at the start. You get that left direction now. It has a little, like, you got whatever, and then a little comment on about it. And so now I can go in 4 directions. Now the screen will scroll when I get to the top. And now I got sound effects. Oh, I got stepping sound effects. Smoother scrolling, so now the screen will scroll with me. So this is the basics of the game in general, is that you just go around and you find these chests which have things in them which will advance not only the presentation of the game, but also like the mechanics of the game. So like now I have a sword so I can cut stuff, and now there's monsters so I have something more to interact with. Oh, I just died instantly by touching something. Interesting. So let's go ahead and check this out. This is my save file at the end of the game, but I won't show any like spoiler stuff except for the fact that this is what the end of the game state looks like. What I really want to show off is where the game ends up. So as you can see here, I got a 3D character in like a 3D world, and these are save points, so you can just walk over them when they save. Let's go ahead and walk out of town here. So yeah, at the very end of the game, you get an airship. And as you can see on the upper left corner of the screen, this is the extent of the world map. There's 2 towns and several dungeons, I guess I could say. More than several. There's quite a few, I guess. But I will point out the main character's name by default is Clink. You can rename him. And you will notice he's carrying a buster sword, has a yellow spiky hair, and wears a green tunic of sorts. Basically, he's a combination of Link and Cloud. And this game itself is a combination of Final Fantasy and Zelda, and some other games. Like there's a Diablo type area. And you get, your money is Gliss instead of like Gil. So as you can see, that's kind of a rough transition there, but ordinarily you would come to this town when you have this level of graphics, where you're like a 16-bit, 32-bit, whatever, side-scroller, or top-down, I should say. And there's some townspeople. And your inventory screen in particular, you just press start to get to that, so you can see what you have equipped. You can see your stats are very simple. Level 11 is over-leveled, I guess I could say. You could beat the level at like 9 or 10. And yeah, you got some weird pieces of items there, which I guess I shouldn't explain all of them, just to keep some secrets around in the game. But I should also explain, so yeah, when you get to this part of the game, it's usually in like 16-bit or whatever it is. I should also explain that during the game, your combat style changes. So here, this is like a dungeon right after that town. If I get into a random battle here, it's like a different perspective. Well, it's like, I guess it's the same perspective really, but it's got the different style of the old sprite-based graphics. And as you can see, or I already showed that there was the 3D battle screen. However, if I go to a dungeon, which I will go to specifically this one over here because I know it has certain things in it. If I go into this dungeon here, I will show off some of the differences. So, most of the dungeons are, I guess, most being like the 3 or 4 that aren't like this one. Oh yeah, so you may notice I am now swinging my sword and attacking enemies, and I have hearts. This crystal is a thing that actually reverts the game state back. So this black panel on the floor that I passed earlier, I can't pass it now because it's too tall for me. Being in a 3D space, I could just step over it, but here I can't do that. And this little tiny tree here, in a 3D space, that takes up more space and I can't go around it. But in a 2D space, it's so small I can just walk over it because, you know, it's like flowers here. They just have their thing. You can read signs. Oh yeah. Again, by pressing start, I open my menu. It's completely different again. Here, I have choice between sword, bombs, and bow, similar to like Link would have. And the bow, well, you can shoot fire. If I hit that crystal, I'll switch back to this. And this switching mechanic only happens in, say, I think there's only 2 places it happens in. This place and one other optional dungeon. I think, as far as I remember. Maybe a 3rd place, maybe I'm forgetting somewhere. But yeah, the game, again, is not super long. It's about 4 hours. Actually, it could have been beaten in 3, but I decided to go around and get all the extra side quest stuff that's at the end of the game, because of course you don't get the airship until the end of the game, which is when a bunch of little side places open up. So yeah, here's that black panel I'm stepping over easily in the 3D world. And yeah, that is basically the gist of the game. However, there are a bunch of minor issues that arise, so if you were to say this is a parody of like Zelda and Final Fantasy, I could believe you, and I could say that, hey, this is a fun little short game. There are like, just a sec, there's like little trap stuff, dungeon type things. A bunch of places will have some sort of obstacle course like this, and a problem I have is that it doesn't have like, it's not very good with its checkpoints per se, so if I were to fall in the lava here, I go all the way back to the beginning of the screen. And longer sections like this have similar problems. So I did take some issue with that. It's got some old design along with the old graphics. Another thing they have is walk through walls. So this wall that has a spot going to it, you can actually just walk right through it. And there was a treasure chest in here, but I already got it, and it disappeared after I got it. So that's, I don't think these invisible wall things are good game design, because then if there's something you can't find, you just want to like walk around the entire dungeon and walk against all the walls as if to find it, but without really thinking about it. There was also a wall here that I could break, which I used a bomb to break open, which I think that's good design, because the wall was like, it looked different. Can't really show that here, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Another thing, so you see the stars in the top left and the cards next to that. After that is my money. The stars are neat that they are just an extra collectible you can find in some chests, usually the chests that are the most out of the way to find. The cards, when you find those are actually used for a minigame, similar to, say, Final Fantasy IX's card minigame. So I do like the little, it was a fun game to play through for the most part, but it is really short, and because of the way RPGs work, it's also kind of shallow because you don't get a whole lot of abilities. So, like in these turn-based combat encounters, the main character, this guy, he doesn't even get any special abilities until the end of the game. And because of that, I don't really want to show them off because they're kind of spoilers to show what abilities he has. You do get one other party member, a girl, and she leaves the party some point near the end, and you don't get her until like a little bit into the game. So this is the card game here. I'll go ahead and do it on the hardest mode. Why not? So of all the cards you collect, you get a random collection of the ones that you have. Like my strongest cards aren't even in here on any. Oh, well, this one's pretty good actually. Basically, what this game is you just put down a card on a spot, and the number will beat the card that it's next to. It only applies to cards when you put them down. So if I put... Let me see here. What do I want to play with? So if I put down a card there, that one is now mine again. But if I put a card down when another card is next to it, that would beat it. So if I were to put, let's see. Well, that's not a good example, but I'll go ahead and do it. So those two ties, so they wouldn't change. But if he was stronger than me on my left from there, it wouldn't like take me out or anything. Oh, interesting play. So right here, here's a good example. I won't beat the guy on my left, but I can place this card here and not lose my ability to him. I only beat the cards I can based on where I'm at. Oh, and look at that. I'm going to win because I'm going to change that one card over. Ta-da! I also don't know how it scores. It says I won 6-4. Like, what are my... I guess I have 6 cards out, but what are his 4? So that's not always clear. I just want to go to one more spot out here. And my inventory is this right now. My inventory is still this because these are random encounters out here. So yeah, you can see the parody stuff right here, right? Those are like piranha plants, and there's pipes from like Mario out here. So it does reference more than just Final Fantasy and Zelda. It's just Final Fantasy and Zelda are the primary ones to reference. And when I say Zelda, I mean like old school Zelda. Oh yeah, here's my prime example of hitbox. So I can't move any farther forward right here. There's like an invisible box right here because of those trees. Which I mean, this is a good spot, but here it's way too far back. And I can't move forward here either. Or here. Wow, what the heck? This is terrible right there. That's just weird. Oop. I would use my ability to just get rid of them, but hopefully I won't die. Ugh. Also, leveling up doesn't really change your abilities too much. And you don't level up very fast at all either, so... I guess it's good that grinding isn't really a thing. Except for the Diablo dungeon, which I'm about to go into. Also, yeah, so this is the Diablo section here. If I press start here, my inventory screen looks completely different yet again. This is a fun little one-off dungeon where you pick up these items that don't do anything, like plus 10 to backstab damage. Maybe that's possible, I don't know. Plus 3 to chivalry, also great for disco knights. That is a meaningless stat. Dodge chance, revives you with 20% HP when you are killed by a unicorn. There are no unicorns in this game. You are not going to get revived from dying from anything from this. Plus 10% grinding speed. You see, these are hilarious little things here. Yeah, 5% chance to get an item you could actually use. So yeah, that's kind of like riffing on Diablo type games. And when you come in here, you get to fight enemies like this, you know. They drop money and health and items, or they did drop items. Except, you know, there's only so many you can get. So yeah, there is some diversity to the gameplay. But again, it is a very short game. I beat it in one day. And then I went out and got the extra achievements that I could. And the final boss is, the style it uses is like the Zelda more kind of play where it's like you're free roaming and you're swinging your sword. I can't even swing my sword out here. So yeah, like the random chests that you find, like this town when I first came here, these were chests out here that I opened the chest and NPCs popped out. So like the chests will like have anything in them, like UI elements, graphics, sound effects, music, stuff like that. You can save again. I think that's about it. Oh, what is nice is that when you get to the end of the game, you can talk to this guy, and he will tell you. He'll talk about stars, you know, and if you don't have all the stars yet, he will then tell you a location where one is. Even though you can't like look up a list of what stars you've collected or what cards you even have, I can't even look at all the cards I have. That's kind of unfortunate. I kind of like want to look at them, you know, but you can't. You can only talk to this guy who will tell you where one is that you haven't gotten yet. So it's at least nice that they have that to let you know where you can find more stuff if you're trying to find everything and get achievements. Yeah, those Goomba-looking creatures are Zumbas. So yeah, I think it was fun to at least play through. I don't know if it's worth, I think, what is it, like $15? Maybe even $20 on its own? But again, in the Legendary Edition, which I got on sale, got me both games for less than that, like $5, because I got it on a deep sale. It's a fine game, a little distraction. It's not, I don't think it's something I would necessarily, I don't know if I would replay it, maybe. I'm looking forward to playing the sequel because it looks like it has a bit more to it. This game is very simple and basic. If you have any other questions about the game, you can ask in the comments below. If you haven't played this game before, let me know what you think of what you've seen of the review. If it's helped you in your decision of whether or not you want to play it or not. If you have played the game, let me know if there's anything important I left out that you think people should know about. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.